welcome to our listeners to this Tech Success podcast, and welcome to Sandip Wadje from BNP Paribas. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to be discussing your thoughts on AI. But before that, can you quickly introduce yourself and then we'll kick off with the first question.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you for the opportunity. Absolutely very happy to introduce myself. I'm Global Head of Emerging Technology Risks for BNP Paribas. I'm based in London. I have been with the bank for 7 years now. My key focus is all the emerging technology aspects, for example, cloud, AI, digital assets, threat intelligence. I also collaborate a lot with European financial institutions, and as a part of it, I represent the bank at Europol, and I also co-chair the European Financial Roundtable Cyber Experts Group. So very well versed within the European financial community and trying to share probably the knowledge and insights I have.
Amazing. Well, on to the first question. What are some of the common challenges or limitations encountered with working with AI and data, and how do you typically address them?
Sure. So I think the first thing about AI is it is a very subjective topic, which means everyone has an opinion. And the opinion, and just with any other technology, and you can take reference to 5G technology. When 5G came, there was a similar level of debate as to what it's going to bring to the table. And we also generally, as an industry and humans as well, we have a tendency to look into the bad side of technology first compared to the good side of the technology. So I think AI definitely, and particularly the generative AI innovation that has happened in the last couple of months, does bring a lot of potential. I think the key challenge is with such a subjective topic, when everyone has a different lens or spotlight on that topic. If you look at like a large financial institution, legal may look at it differently. The chief data office may have a different view. The chief risk officers may look at differently. Compliance may have a different view. So you really need to make sure, and then of course regulators have their own way of narrating the change as to what they think should be done. So you have to get all those views together and then essentially bring everyone on board with the same narrative and message. And that's the biggest challenge. And it is moving fast as well, right? Because no one was prepared for the level of change that has come in last like 6 to 18 months in terms of the innovation of the models that has happened. And it's not as if that innovation has stopped. They keep coming with new models every 6 months. So everyone is wondering what's next in terms of innovation in AI models.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally believe the same. And what do you see as the future trends or advancements in AI, and how do you stay updated on these developments and incorporate them into the business?
So what I have seen in terms of my conversations in the industry with the peers, particularly on adoption of AI, I think the use cases, first thing first, the use cases are going to converge. And then I can give examples of how much open source data we use in our professions. You can take example of your profession. You are into human resources and recruitment. Large part of data actually is open source, whether it is LinkedIn profile, job descriptions. Similarly, if you look at like financial institutions, a large part of data, particularly the annual reports, the financial history, and the information associated with what's the position of executives on a particular topic. It's all visible. You can go on social media, check where a particular company stands in terms of what their corporate or sustainability goals are. So I think if you look at just one example of all the data that is open source, there is no copyright, and then building use cases and scaling those use cases with different spotlights. So I definitely see an opportunity where, particularly from a data perspective, whether it is open source data, market data, the use cases will converge, and maybe more and more parties will work together on solving those use cases. A good example, generally again coming from cyber and technology risk background, is third-party assessments. There's a lot has happened in the last couple of years where banks came together, we started share assessments, we started doing shared third-party assessments. The next evolution is a shared third-party GenAI agent who is going and performing the third-party assessments on behalf of large customers. So I think the trends are how to tap into the potential of this technology, but at the same time joining hands, reducing the cost, because cost is an aspect that will keep coming back. Because AI is not cheap. It requires a lot of processing power. It requires cloud storage and cloud consumption as well. So I think the trend I see is one, some of these developments of AI agents. It's going to converge as to how essentially it kind of drives change in the industry.
That's really interesting. So, kind of limiting risk and sharing best practice tips through collaboration, I suppose. So, can you share a few examples of innovative AI use cases that may drive business transformation?
So, I think good examples are definitely if you look at client journey and the amount of effort today goes in kind of having that client experience and consistent engagements. So if you are, let us say, working on financial services side with a particular client, the amount of time it takes to prepare a customized proposal, and look at now Gen AI, it can deliver proposal in like fraction of seconds. So your time to market is significantly reduced because you are able to have a very customized or hyper personalized proposals for customers. So I think one, from a customer experience perspective, I would say cutting across the sector, whether it is telecom or financial services, it would be hyper personalized because it is so easy. You already have like what last 5-10 years of proposals and data as to how you have worked with a particular client. All you have to do that is put AI on top of it and then do that. So I think a personalization of a client journey, whether it is in retail banking, investment banking, wealth management, cutting across probably whether it is telco, I see that as like one of those use cases which would change or be very transformative from a change perspective. There are like again, for example, good examples again from a cyber threats perspective. You can be very well organized in terms of as analyzing cyber threats as a result of AI adoption. So there are a number of use cases as to how organizations will equip and prepare to handle that change.
Okay. No, very interesting. And in your opinion, what are the key, I suppose, guardrails around AI?
I think which there is quite consensus on this topic. I think everyone seems to agree. Data is key, and when you look at data, uh, it's almost like that healthcare analogy. I can have your MRI or CT scan or your personal health information, which is private, but then you have that watch that tracks your blood pressure, heart rate, and other things. And I don't control whether that watch was manufactured correctly, whether the watch was manipulated. What I'm trying to say is in a real life circumstances, how do I know if financial market data was not manipulated by nation state actors? So then this is just completely outside in view. So the reality is the biggest issue in AI is what you say is if the bad stuff gets in, the bad stuff is going to get out. And so you really need to be very clear in on how do you put data governance. And that's essentially the stories we keep hearing, and I call it generative AI particularly as a 10x magnifying glass. So if your access management is broken, if your data security is broken, 10x, it's going to show you how badly broken it was. And that's how the AI is going to find information and give answers to users' questions. So I think putting guardrails around how the data is managed, different types of data sources, how they are governed, even before you start putting AI in place. And then that is a hard part because I think organizations were not ready for it. It's so easy to put Gen AI on top of something and it gives you answers like flash of seconds. It sounds very exciting, right? So I think you have to play catch up with the technology, but at the same time, somehow make sure that you put the guardrails in place, particularly around the data. Because if your data is not right, your AI is not going to be right.
Yeah, no, very true. It's probably why our data recruitment practice is very busy, especially on the contract side at the moment. So I think everyone's trying to get their data in order before the big kind of AI implementations, etc. So I suppose impacts on the recruitment sector or what we're doing. Tell me your thoughts.
So my personal opinion, uh, it we need a balanced strategy when it comes to kind of talent retention and having that AI expertise. And this is a tough one because it's not like, and I'm not like the HR consultant or like a HR transformation company. But the way I see it, for example, let us take a cybersecurity example, which is the most hard to find talent in cybersecurity. Vulnerability researcher, incident response, which is easier to find talent in cybersecurity. Maybe intelligence analyst, someone who does like some sort of a regulatory reporting. You take these two areas, where would you put AI? Both at the same time. Because what you're doing is you have one area where you're finding it difficult to hire talent. So you can use AI to balance it out, saying, you know what, we already got capacity issue in a complex security investigations. We can deploy AI, so we are not essentially losing jobs. We are actually augmenting the current talent capacity, and then you got current talent which you are training and taking them to equip to do something else. So that way you are going hand in hand with low skilled and high skilled and bridging that thing. It's a very sensitive topic. People have different views. I have not seen anyone actually, because everyone is like trying to rush and adopt the technology. I haven't actually, in my conversations, I haven't seen like someone coming up saying, you know what, I have a balanced, mixed skill strategy where we are trying to use AI for complex problems and simple problems so that they all go hand in hand in terms of creating that probably AI ready workforce, because you really essentially you need to train everyone on using AI properly. That's how essentially it looks like, how things are going to go.
Yeah, I think it's going to evolve over the next 12 to 24 months. Thank you very much for your thoughts today, Sandeep. I really appreciate you joining me. And yeah, look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.